Las Vegas, the city I love, is the entertainment capital of the world. It also happens to be the wedding capital of the world, the retirement haven of the world, and one of the best destinations, one of the best and biggest gaming floors with mega concerts and conventions, all nestled in the best resorts in the globe. And these are just some of the reasons why Vegas is the global brand. Welcome to Vegas Vibes, giving you a peek at what's groovin' and brewin' in the music, pageantry, and live production scenes in the city that never sleeps. And I'm your host, Esmeralda Padilla-Gould. Some cool and exciting news when we get back, so stay there!
Jinglicious.
Jingles are the way of life to sell everything from clothes, products, and houses. Jinglicious has been there for many corporate companies to bring them the customers they need to thrive big all year round. Jinglicious can create unique sound designs, jingles, and custom songs. Mention this video commercial and get any of our services for only $500 each, a savings of thousands of dollars. We want to invite new clients to Jinglicious to make their dreams or business succeed with Jinglicious. Call us now at 702-302-9212. That's 702-302-9212. Or visit our website at www.jinglicious.com. Jinglicious. Our jingles are ready when you are.
Jinglicious.
Thanks for keeping me company. Aerosmith, Bruno Mars, and Pink are three of the biggest names in the music industry who will entertain Las Vegas residents and visitors in April. Aerosmith will stay in Vegas for a bit longer than initially planned as part of their upcoming residency at the Park Theater at Park MGM Resort. The Deuces Are Wild residency, as the run of shows has been formally branded, is scheduled to begin on April 6th and was initially supposed to continue over 18 performances before wrapping on July 9th. The newly announced extension will now keep the band in the entertainment capital of the world into the fall months with 17 more shows set to begin on September 21st and continuing until December 4th. Wow, they're probably the hottest rock and roll band today. Grammy Award-winning international pop icon Pink announced that collaborator and Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Julia Michaels will join her Beautiful Trauma World Tour as special guest. Michaels worked alongside Pink to write the strikingly honest track Barbies and the melancholic song For Now from her dynamic 7th studio album, Beautiful Trauma. Produced by Live Nation, the critically acclaimed tour has been lauded by fans and critics alike for Pink's spectacular physicality and powerful vocals. There's still time to secure your tickets for Pink's one-day Las Vegas stop at the T-Mobile Arena, Friday, April 12, 2019. Bruno Mars is coming back to Las Vegas for a series of select dates at Park MGM, according to a recent announcement. The 11 shows will take place from April 29th to September 14th inside the Park Theater. So far, the new Vegas performances are the R&B crooners, only live dates scheduled for 2019 after spending the majority of 2017 and 2018 on his sold-out 24K Magic World Tour. And finally, the Mrs. World pageant will be held at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort from April 29th to May 4th. To apply or learn more about this beauty pageant, please go to mrsworld.com. When we come back, I'll be interviewing a cool magician who's also a pantomime. Well, take a guess. But don't go away, I'll be back before you know it.
Gentleman number 3.
Sir, the internet is down.
Oh, no, not again.
No, where's our backup internet?
Look! Our backup internet saved the day.
Thanks, LV.net.
Remember, the best place for backup internet is LV.net.
Be your office's superhero and secure your business with backup internet today. Call LV.net at 702-9000000.
Welcome back to Vegas Vibes. Here with us today is a very special guest. He flew all the way from San Francisco, California. I really find that he has a very interesting story, and we will know about that more by the end of this interview. Please help me welcome Chris Herren and Faust.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Chris.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm pretty excited to be here, coming all the way up from San Francisco. I mean, it's just a pleasure just to be here with you and on your show. So thank you very much.
No, it's my pleasure having you. Thank you for being on VegasVibes. And like what I mentioned earlier in the beginning, I find your story very interesting. And you are immensely passionate with what you do, which is magic.
Yes, absolutely.
And you have developed this character.
I've
named
developed,
Faust.
yeah. So if you've seen my act before, I wear a mask. It's pantomime, and he's really a mime, and he has his own life. I've named Faust for different reason and different influences in my life, but you know, it's been a long journey to get there to where Faust is and what he is today. You know, I started doing magic when I was 7, 8 years old. And I remember the first, you know, magic show I seen. It was actually a documentary, and it was Harry Houdini. Wow. And that was my first feeling of astonishment. I mean, absolute astonishment with what Harry Houdini was doing. And that's where I caught the magic bug. And later on, you know, I think that feeling wanted me to allow other people to feel that. And I think I could do that with, you know, showing a trick or two, you know, when I was a little kid, and seeing people smile and just be amazed that this impossible thing happened. That really intrigued me, and it touched me through my life, you know. And then also my grandmother and my mom, they're from the Philippines, and they would tell me about these mythical creatures or folkloric characters that had supernatural powers, and my imagination just really flew with that. And that kind of led up to my interest in mass and, you know, these different characters with powers and such. But Faust in particular is a influence from an old book. It's an 18th century book called Faust. And the funny thing is that character, whose name is Faust as well, was a person who sold his soul to the devil.
I read that.
Right? So people always ask me, why do you base your character off of that? Well, it's really not that. It is the emotional drive that that particular character had. And my interpretation is that Faust, from that 18th century book, was desperately wanting to change. So I took that concept, and I wanted to develop a character that was driven off of that, you know, premise. So if you watch what I do, you'll see that Faust is actually going through a struggle between love, sadness, and joy. But in the end, he really wants to change, you know, who he really is. And the background that I wrote out for Faust, he is a recluse. He's lived a tragic life, and he, you know, is now coming out. When he steps on that stage, he is now coming out to get out of this shell that he's been on all his life. And you see this magical, you know, person on stage, but that's just a metaphor of who he wants to be, but not who he really is. I don't get to say that, you know, on stage, because it's completely silent. But I think, you know, for me, it helps me really bring this character out and make it interesting. You know, first and foremost, he's fun, you know, and I want people to enjoy. But I think when people see the character, they begin to realize that there's something just a little bit different with, you know, how I'm presenting it, and that's why.
Please let us meet Faust.
Well, this is Faust. And he's actually gone through a lot of changes and whatnot. This is not the first mask that I, you know, created. I drew it all by hand. I actually went
You made it yourself?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
So it's just a regular white mask, you know, it's a Pierrot mask, you know. Pierrot meaning from the old French word to describe a mime. And I had drawn up 3 different styles of masks, and this was the one that I really came up with that sort of connected with people. And if you look at the face, he has the expression of Edward Scissorhands. And that was my influence because Edward Scissorhands has this sort of neutral, vulnerable face, and I wanted to capture that with Faust. So say hello, Faust. No, he doesn't talk.
Hello.
All right, he's going back to sleep. But Faust is an influence from a lot of things, you know. When I
How can you relate to him? Like, how did he change you?
Well, you know, when I was developing the character, I knew I'm really intrigued with Shakespearean tragedy and whatnot, and just
Or I guess I should rephrase it. How did it shape you to the person you are today?
I think Faust is a representation of all my struggles, and part of what Faust went through, the story I've written from him, is based off of my struggles in life, and especially with cancer. And I felt very, you know, alone during that time, and I was able to get out of it because I eventually, you know, was cured through chemotherapy and all that.
And what type of cancer, if you don't mind?
I had a tumor about the size of a softball in my chest, and it was growing into my superior vena cava, which is a main vein in my neck, and it was just suffocating my blood flow to my brain. And at the time I thought I was having an allergic reaction, you know. And
how long ago was this?
This was almost 10 years ago. I was 35. You know, I was healthy, and I wasn't even thinking on that level, you know. I was working out and stuff like that. But my face was just swollen, and my friends were like, wow, you gained some weight or something. And I kept on going persistently to the doctor. You know, something's wrong, you know, perhaps I have an allergy and whatnot.
And you found out you had,
and
you had cancer.
It was very scary, you know. I remember my friend, you know, came in there with me because he was a Navy SEAL, so he's a tough guy. He's like, I'll come in there with you, and we were just kind of joking around. Oh, there's really, I mean, what could they possibly tell me? You know, I'm young, and, you know, I wasn't expecting that, but when the doctor had told me, he said, you know, it doesn't look good for you. And I said, what do you mean? And then everything from then on just kind of, you know, was a haze. And I could hear my friend talking on my behalf, are you sure? And even he was shocked, you know, out of all, you know, all guys that.
And you mentioned that you stopped doing magic for a while. You thought you'll never
Yes.
go back to doing magic.
Right, because of cancer, you know. I went through 5 years of just rehabilitation, you know. I developed a Parkinsonian tremor in my hand where my hand would just constantly shake. And in magic, you know, you have to have a good amount of dexterity to perform these tricks and these effects and these illusions. I couldn't even hold a pencil, let alone feed myself.
So you went to see Mr. Jeff McBride.
Right.
Master Jeff McBride.
Master Jeff McBride. So it's interesting because at the time, I just took a class. I knew he was holding a class for mask and mime. And I go, that's me. I want to do that. You know, I've always had this interest, and I wanted to take it to another level as far as learning from a traditional standpoint from a master. Not necessarily magic, if you believe it or not, because the cancer kind of traumatized me. I was like, you know, I probably had, you know, my time had passed. But anyways, my wife was constantly forcing me, just do it, just
that's
take
nice.
it.
You have support from your
Oh, my wife has
wife
been
and family.
very supportive ever since, you know, we were dating. But
How long have you been married?
20 years.
20 years? How many
Yeah.
children?
Two, a boy and a girl. But they, you know,
Have any of your children expressed their interest in following your footsteps?
my boy, he's into athletics. My daughter, she's really artsy, so she dabbled in magic for a little bit. But I think, you know, I don't push it on them. If they do go to it, you know, I definitely be there. But I want them to find their own kind of path in the world and what they're good at. You know.
Well, I would like to congratulate you because we are part of the finals of Culture Clash
Yes.
in May. So
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Made some new friends, And I know we're going to bring a lot of good magic there. Mondre, Josiah, the Apples. It's just a fun environment. That's what I love about magic, is that it's a community. And although it's a competition, which I understand, it's all for good fun.
I know you said you don't really like competing.
Right, we were talking out there, and I don't do well with competitions, but, you know, I think it's a different kind of pressure, and I don't like having to compete with my fellow performer because what we do is really different, you know, and but I understand it's for the fun, and I look at it in that way, but preferably I would just rather perform, you know. Going back to Jeff about the class.
Yes.
You know, I took that class just out of curiosity to see where I was with magic, because it's been years since I even performed, nor did I even have the intention of performing ever again. Well,
You took a break for how long?
About 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years, because I was just physically not capable. I had a hard time standing up and stuff like that, and of course magic requires that.
Yes, you said that.
Yeah, right. All I do is stand. You know, I wish I could do the close-up magic because it's behind a table and you're sitting down, but that really never kind of interested me. I like the theatrical side of magic, you know, and that's what Jeff does. He said something in the class when I went to his house and took a class. He said, in order for you to give a magical experience, you must first experience it yourself. And I'm sitting in there and I'm just letting it all sink in, and you know, he's performing like right there in front of me. And it was my first contact, like, you know, personal contact with Jeff ever. And he made it magical, and it just sparked new life in my love for magic again, you know. Going back even further, I met Jeff 20 years ago when he was at Caesar's Palace at the Magical Empire, and he was doing his famous act and whatnot, and he was performing this sort of routine called the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and I had only read about this routine where he pulls out coins from thin air. For some reason, he walks throughout the crowd and he picks me.
Oh wow, of all people.
Of all people, of all the kids, all the adults, he picks me. And I go up on stage with him. And he's silent. He doesn't talk. And he's going through this routine, and I'm just in awe, complete awe. And at the end of it, he starts to talk. He brings out an orange wand, and he says, you know, he went through a speech and said, this wand has been handed, is a symbol of knowledge that's been handed down by magicians to apprentices for thousands of years.
Sounds like Faust. He wanted unlimited knowledge, right?
Right.
Please show us Faust again and what he does.
This is Faust, and he comes to life with the sort of magic that I do. In fact, if you want, I can show you a piece.
Can't wait.
I can show you a piece about what he does, okay? And it is silent, so I'll warn you, but, you know, it's, you know, Faust likes a little participation, so I'll have Faust do that piece for you, okay?
The rose. Interesting. A doll. Ah. Does it come to life? It's standing up on its own. Wow, there's no string, nothing, just magic. Wow. Amazing. Wow, yay! Wow, I can't believe that. Right before my eyes. No string, nothing, but it stood up on its own. Oh, thank you. And Faust is romantic.
And that's for you. And that routine is called the broken music box. So the story behind that, and I hope you enjoyed that, by the way.
I did, thank you.
The story behind the broken music box was Faust had a former love, and she gave him this box. And although the box doesn't work, he imagined that, you know, the doll that once stood on top of that box could dance again. And through the magic of love, he figured out that, you know, life could be brought back into that box. And although his heart was still broken, the symbolism of the rose is that he knows that he could still go on because there are other roses out there in the world for him to love. And so that's for you.
Thank you.
And that's from Faust. So
Thank you, Faust.
thank you. Yeah.
Please invite everyone. Where can they find you?
They could find me, first I have a schedule on my website, so chrisherrenmagic.com. And my name is spelled CHRISHERREN magic.com, or Instagram. It's Chris Herren _as_Faust. And you could find me on there, and my schedule is there. I'll be at Wonderground at Jeff McBride's place in Las Vegas on June 20th, and I'll also be in LA in August as well, and of course Culture Clash coming up in May 19th, right?
May 19th
right.
is the final.
Yes.
Congratulations, and I wish you continued success. Chris, in this lifetime, how would you like to be remembered? I know you've been through so much.
Well, that's a good question. You know, as far as magic, I really hope to be remembered as a mime and as a magician, just a good magician. And I hope that I'm able to contribute something to the community. But outside of magic, you know, just my ultimate goal is just to be a good father, a good husband, and, you know, a good friend. I mean, those are pretty much the things that make me happy. So that might be, you know, enough for me. But yeah.
Wow, but those things are really what really matters in life.
Absolutely.
Those are the things that really matter in life. For my final question, what advice or words of wisdom would you suggest to anyone who would like to take magic to the next level?
Well, for me, I found a mentor, and I think if you're really gonna take, you know, magic to a different level, you get trained by a magician, or at least get guided by a magician that can take you to all the goals that you want. The one thing that I did was I looked at the person that I wanted to mentor with, and I asked what they accomplished, and if those goals matched my goals, then I think that's the proper match. But I do believe that at some point you have to, you know, seek some training or mentoring, and that's probably would be my advice to up-and-coming magicians.
I agree with that. You need people who are more seasoned.
Absolutely. They have a lot of experience and knowledge that they can give you that can help you along this long journey.
Along the way, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you once again, and I wish you all the best.
Thank
and good
you
luck
very much.
on Culture Clash.
And Faust says thank you as well.
Oh, thank you for my rose.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
for
Chris. I enjoyed this.
It was a pleasure being here.
I would like to thank my wardrobe sponsor, Anne Fontaine. Anne Fontaine is located at the Forum Shop inside Caesar's Palace. Catch me again next week as I feature another amazing personality here on Vegas Vibes. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Keith Evans at the Lion Habitat Ranch. We'd like you to come out and visit our ranch. There's 38 lions, a giraffe that paints, ostriches, emus, and birds. We do school tours, general admission, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. and behind-the-scenes tours every day of the week. Besides coming in as general admission, you can also pay extra to help our animals, and you can feed the giraffe. You can feed one of the lions, or you can have Ozzy paint a custom canvas for you. You can also buy Ozzy paintings in the gift shop. While we do our demonstrations at 12 and 2 of Ozzy painting, all those canvases are available for purchase. In addition to everything you can do here in person, you can find us on the website, lionhabitatranch.org, where you can make your reservations online or buy your paintings online. Thank you very much. Please come.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode as much as I did sharing the vibes of Vegas. And time really flies when you're having a grand time. Don't fail to join me again next week on this same fabulous ACTV channel. And to all our global viewers out there, let me be candid with you. Las Vegas is not just about the world-renowned Strip or the famous Fremont Street experience in the burgeoning downtown district. It has real people, a lot of them musicians, live entertainers, and those involved in the world of pageantry. And to the people here in the Valley who work hard each day to make Las Vegas a global brand, and to these ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things to the community. And to these unsung everyday heroes, you are the ones I would like to feature right here on Vegas Vibes, either on the ACTV studios or at your workplace. If you believe that's you, please email me now at esmeralda@actvlv.com. I'm your host, Esmeralda Padilla-Gould. Thanks for watching!
You know, we've had some wonderful adventures at the Las Vegas Natural History Museum.
Yeah, we've discovered dinosaurs.
And saw strange creatures from deep oceans.
We've explored the safari in Africa. What do you think we'll discover next?
Welcome.
What do you see? What do you see?
Things. Wonderful things.
You too can discover wonderful things at the Las Vegas Natural History Museum. Explore treasures of Egypt, a trip to King Tut's tomb, and recreations of some of Egypt's best-known artifacts.
This has been a presentation of VATV.